All right. Can everybody hear me online? Is that working?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Lenoy. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Courtney, do you want to do your updates, or do you want to save those since the finance and budget discussion will probably take the longest?
I can go with the end.
Courtney, if you're trying to speak, you are muted.
No, she
That
said she
can
can
go
go
to
at
the end.
How long is that? All right. Since y'all can hear us and we cannot hear you, and Courtney said to go on, we'll skip down to comms is not here either.
Is anyone else in the meeting right now? I can log on
There are several people.
in the room though.
Oh, I don't know about
I tried to go, maybe the bot one will work online.
yeah, if you want to go for it. In the meantime, while we try to troubleshoot a little bit, Emily, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I have a couple
Uh,
updates. Can
Emily?
you hear me? What? No, I'm right here. They can.
There's a podium.
There's a podium that we're aimed at.
Oh my gosh.
Are we supposed to applaud? I guess.
No.
Please welcome up Emily.
I hate you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I have 3 updates coming up. We have this Sunday the Columbus 10K. So that benefits the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. We will be at the finishing line, handing out snacks and goodies to all finishers. Next week on the 18th, we have the Mid-Ohio Food Bank is also handing out food to Valerie's school. So that is from 2 to 7. Everyone's welcome to sign up. You don't have to be there the whole time. You can just be there part of the time. But this is like, they're doing it twice this summer for the kids at first school. That's like a food drive for them. So that'll be really fun. I've never done it before. I'm looking forward to it. So please sign up for that one. And then we have on the 20th our Pride March. So we have 50. Last I saw, signed up halfway there. I think we can get to the 100 goal. Tell your friends, tell everyone you know they want to sign up. We have the spots. So I look forward to that. That's it. Thanks.
All right, let's give this another shot. Curtis,
I'm trying.
trying.
I'm getting it now. I'm logging in.
Oh, I'm in that.
Oh, you're in?
Can you hear? Courtney or Bethany, can one of you try speaking again? We'll see if we can hear you now.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, there we go. Now it's on both computers. All right, we'll go back up to.
Hello.
No, you can stop that now. We'll go back to comms. I don't know if Colin is on or if Bethany will be speaking for him.
He is not on. As far as I'm aware, he did not have any updates to provide.
Okay, no updates from comms. We will go down to creative. No updates from creative. Game day.
Say it.
All right. Paco is walking to the stand.
For setting this. Yeah, just short and sweet. Everything's coming up Millhouse for the grouping. We got 2 wins coming into this break, so that's pretty awesome. Thank you again to all the volunteers that helped with the last 2 home games. Drummers, capos, everybody that stayed and rang wet banners and hung wet banners. We really do appreciate it, and it's just really thankful, and it really helps everybody kind of get everything set up and taken down. So we really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody, especially the drummers that helped make the Open Cup game against NYFC a banger. We tried it out with no capos, and it was a really wild experience. I think overall we had a good time. I think we're the only team in the league that had 7-year-olds banging drums for 90 minutes, just doing Columbus chants over and over again. Those guys were great. Pride game was really great. Thank you to everybody who put flags together. Brandon for his bubble machine, Ashley for her bubble guns.
Blasters. We don't
Blasters.
Bubble
Bubble blasters. Just want to make that clear. We did not bring guns into the stadium. Yeah, and then just thank you to Norm and the drummers. Those are really cool moment at the end of the game where I could hear Norm through everything, and he reminded me to start waving flags. And everybody picked up on it. So it's a really cool. That was really cool.
Really works, but it's something that we're doing on June 13th. We're gonna go to the Gahanna Pride Festival at Kent, and we're gonna set up and people up memberships and probably give away food and maybe do a drawing. And if anyone has a game, we can, I don't know if anyone has a wheel thing they can spin or something we could throw soccer balls at. We can use like the kids club soccer balls, throw them at things and then get people or something like that. I hadn't gotten further.
Talking about the game.
Okay. I'll get you this. Great.
I'm gonna talk to me after the meeting.
Okay. I also, when was that? I'm sorry. On the 13th. So it's set up till 11:30 and it goes till 5. And if anyone wants to come for any part of it, that'd be great. I know I'll be there the whole time. I'll be there from the beginning to the end. But if you want to do a couple hours or hang out, you're welcome to.
Is it gonna be at Creekside?
No, it's at Hadley Park. I can post the information.
Perfect.
Yep, it's a pretty cool thing. There's food trucks and all kinds of stuff, but they're excited to have us there. And that's it's $25. So I don't know if that we did we do a motion for that, Emily, or no?
Nope, we can.
Yeah, okay.
We can do that here. I motion. Spend $25 on.
Are you doing it?
Oh.
Oh,
Second.
okay, great, perfect. Okay, great. And also, I don't know who to talk to here, but I need some training. What I'm doing here, or I messaged Melanie for like a handoff situation, but I haven't heard back from her. And I just need to know if there's anything else I need to be doing besides filling orders. So if anyone here wants to, and I think the other stuff I have to Great.
Courtney, I don't know if you heard, but Sarah already said she would post those details in Slack. So all right.
Thank you. So much. I knew a partnership.
Okay.
All right. So the first part of this is the partnerships report out, and then I also have kind of a joint partnerships travel one too. So first, I'm sure this is from Brad sent me a text, so I'm just going to read it. Spires wants to brew a beer for Hell is Real, and they want our help. We still have plenty of time, but I'd like to schedule it before that changes. I believe that we could brew it on Saturday, June 27th, since it's a crew game free, crew free game, whatever. There's no game in it. Brewing will take about 3 hours. I think we should pick a start time. People can come and go as they please. And then whoever is there when something needs done can help. Ideally, we'll brew it on the patio so we have plenty of room. All I need from you is to let me know on the date and the beer style. We'll need a style by June 19th, and I'll need a beer name. And if we want, we can provide artwork by July 6th. They'll have the beer ready for us by the Hell is Real home game on July 5th. So if anyone's interested in helping out with making beer, contact Brad. Yeah.
You're good. Okay. Well, then that was her.
Is this something that?
Thanks for letting me read through all of that. I really appreciate that. Right? So,
Is this something that? Next slide, like members of like go through like the beginning. I'm sorry, activation of memberships.
yes.
My understanding of it is they're gonna brew it and then we're gonna get it for the Hell is Real game. So we could put it on socials that we're doing it, but I don't think it's something that they're gonna be actively.
Oh, they're not.
Selling.
I meant, didn't they ask us to come up with?
Yeah.
a
Some
style
name.
of
They said style
Yeah,
beer.
we could
names,
reach
and
out to
artwork.
people.
Yeah, so I wondered if like on socials up until June 19th deadline, if we have like a, maybe like an there's like they could give us session links and that anyone.
Yeah. And it's actually until July 4th. So yeah. I mean, talk to Brad. I mean, I'm just reporting for him. That sounds good for me.
Just
I
like,
approve
it's
it.
cool.
On behalf of, as Brad's proxy, I approve that.
I know what you would name a lager that elephant kind of.
Which is actually good.
That's why we pick it.
All right.
10 minutes final.
Doesn't sound good. Like a hot day. It was amazing.
All right. Bethany is never allowed to miss another meeting again.
Second.
We could switch it to we could move that to my committee if it's better. If my Wi-Fi is having no problems.
I'm the same. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right. Sorry, Curtis. Go
You
ahead.
good? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
So the other part of and this is, I guess, kind of joint partnerships and travel is we've mentioned in the past our idea to have a supporter derby, which would be crew supporters or Nordecke members versus members of the various Cincinnati SGs. They don't actually have Bailey memberships; they're just members of the various SGs down there. But anyways, the idea is having a formal game between the two teams, treating it as a 2-game series. We host a leg when Hell is Real is here. They host a leg when Hell is Real is there. Brad and I have been engaged in numerous conversations with some contacts from the Cincinnati leadership. They're on board. They think it's a fun idea. We've talked to the front office at their crew. They are willing to let us use the historic crew stadium. We got approval as of today to hold the game there on the 24th, which will be the night before Hell is Real. So Friday night game in historic crew stadium, then Saturday night the teams play. And then the idea is to be the same down there, although this year Hell is Real Cincy is a Sunday, so probably Saturday. And they also have supposedly, or at least we've been told, they have gotten approval from their front office to as part of the run of show before the game, give a trophy celebration on the field to whichever of the two teams win before the Hell is Real down there. And Molly told us that since he set the precedent this year, the crew will have no choice but to follow suit if we are the second leg. So all of this is in play. We're ready to move forward. We start recruiting players. We'll be reaching out to comms to help kind of figure out messaging, cadence, and all of that stuff. The cost to us will be $3,000 for the event. We have gotten approval from Levy to have food and beverage brought in, so we can have like a food truck or something at Historic Crew Stadium because they do not have any concession stands open. Our thought is charging $10 for admission. Half of it will go to cover the cost of running the event, and then the other half will go to a community partner that Emily designates that makes it to that game. So that's kind of our thought. We thought we can come pretty close, if not entirely covering the $3,000 cost, and then anything above that, we would just donate 100% to the charity partner. So that's the announcement on Supporter Derby. We also need a better name. Also, we are going to be, we do suggest billing this as the largest soccer game in the entire country in the month of July. So yes.
Are we also charging players and stuff? Like, how are we getting to 300 people? To cover.
To as mission. I don't think we want to charge the people to participate. But we're hoping enough, I think if we can get 500, I would hope we could spread the word, get some excitement, Crew versus Cincy. Also, treat it as kind of an undercard of sorts, or kind of a warm up for Hella's Real Weekend, kind of a lead in for all this.
So to put in context, I think the Cappies draw what, 200 to 300 a game?
That would be a big crowd.
They average less than that. Like,
Yeah, less than that. So we're thinking we're going to get
300
more
is
than,
breaking even if we charge $10 a ticket.
not if it's
No, we're
split.
gonna have to. If we're giving
It would need,
half
you would
to-
need double the amount because they're
Yeah, I
giving
know,
half away.
but I'm
So
just saying.
So it'd be
600 is
profit
breaking even.
$5.
How many supporters are they, do they typically?
For the
For the
away
actual
games.
games, they get the same number of tickets that we get, which is 200 and.
Do they usually fill them?
Plus however many they get.
Yeah, sure, exactly. So they officially they get 200 and something.
Like 500.
Yeah, probably about the same.
Okay.
About the same. I
So if they also.
Yeah, we're hoping, at least, if nothing else, if you at least get, some family members of all the players, we're figuring 20 people per team. If they bring 2 to 3 people, significant others or whatever, then that's gonna get you to 75 people just right there. With spectators. I mean, your point's not mistaken. There is definitely a possibility we could lose money.
I'm just
For sure.
curious too, like if the front office. Like other resources we can have to like make it happen. Like the idea is awesome. Like, I'm so excited about it. I just also know that we're not gonna be here where budget is top of mind. But I
mean, the other option is- Partnership.
without us like.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good idea.
I mean, we can always charge more for tickets too, and just give more to nonprofit. If we do get 500 people, then great, we just give more to our charity partner.
Or
And
like find like a sponsor, like could like people, like brewery partners or like,
Presented
could they, and they can all, yeah, presented by, and they can like have their logo.
Run back to that Hell's Real Theater.
Yeah.
Everything we can work out with them, maybe that's.
All right.
Yeah.
Hand raised in online. Go ahead, Courtney.
Have we reached out to them? Because my big concern, can you hear me first and foremost?
Yes.
Okay. I know we had mentioned the idea of possibly going to OBETs. Do we know what the comparison cost would be? I mean, not that we don't want to do it in historic, because that would be amazing. But if there is a price difference for doing it somewhere like OBETs or something like that, we should explore that and see if that's going to be a cheaper option. Because, I mean, point blank, everyone I think is on board with the idea. I don't think, I would like to speak without being interrupted, please. I don't think that everyone is comfortable with the idea of the cost of that. And to everyone's points of that financially, we're not going to make up money with having ticket price. It's going to be a hard enough sell the night before to get people to come out if this was a free event. And we're going to charge people, and I know we're putting in the thing and promoting the hell of it. We can't get that many people at watch parties, let alone going out and paying money to, watch supporters and this and that. And we don't have guaranteed, right now, we don't have guaranteed support from our own supporters groups. We don't have guarantee for members of players for this. And I love the idea I love this, but this is a really hard, pardon my language, fucking sell right now to spend $4K on where we're at budgetally right now. So I'm not saying we can't do it, but we need to explore other options where we cut that cost way down.
We can explore it. I hear you, Courtney, and there's definitely options we can explore. The one about moving it to OBETs is definitely something we can ask about. Initially, my guess is it's not going to change a lot because they're not charging us a facility rental fee. The cost is going towards the ancillary stuff like security, EMT, things like that. And I would guess those are going to be the same regardless of venue, but we can ask the question. The question about finding a sponsor is probably one that has a higher likelihood of making an inroad, and it's definitely something we can explore with beer partners or anybody else that wants to partner and make it officially provided, sponsored by, whatever beer partner.
I feel like that's also something.
I just want to say one other point. If it was something we're doing this, we need to take into effect how this is going to affect Nordecke Cup, because we haven't even really hit the ground running with that. And I've been kind of, talking with Will offhand about dates and stuff like that, but they're only going to give us that facility for one or the other. And if one of these takes over, I don't think memberships and Nordecke Cup will happen if we were to push and do something like this instead.
So you're saying get a confirmation from them now that Nordecke Cup is the same deal before we move forward with this? Does that answer that? Which we've not done yet.
No, it's more, it's if they're gonna make us choose one or the other, this will be the other.
I
It's
understand.
Nordecke Cup's gonna have to stay at the stadium.
So you're saying get confirmation, yes, that they
Yes.
would allow us to continue having both
Yes.
there before we commit to having this one there.
Yeah. Have we also tried to reach out to some high schools because we could see if they want to have us?
I actually did.
What'd they say?
Well, I'm waiting to hear back. My son raps.
Mhm.
All right. But I reached out to the assigners for the repping crew. They also do the field assignments to
Yeah.
see if there's anything available.
You mean in terms of venues?
Mhm.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Because it would cut costs significantly. We wouldn't have to pay medics or any of that stuff.
I assume
And
they
it
would,
would-
high schools wouldn't require those. But
No, but they would, and they would,
It's without it, so.
yeah, they'd be free, or we could donate $100-200 or whatever for their time.
Yeah.
But I think
Especially it's like out of season, so.
It's got a really nice.
It's also slack time for, to the extent that there is a slack time for youth soccer.
Right.
At the end of July is slack and Kilborn Run has a stadium.
Yeah. It's a good point. Like there's really no high school activities happening,
Yeah.
especially not even preseason sport for most of them are even happening in July. They usually start in August.
Well, they might have practices, but I'm sure we could work around some of these
Yeah,
schedules.
if we're looking evening, I'm sure at an 8 o'clock by Friday night, they're probably not. Oh, maybe they are these days.
Yeah, that Kilborn Run purchase of like $200 an hour for a field rental.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
You
reached
could
out
make it
to
2
Ken.
hours. Yeah.
I'm sure you knew that. but-
And it might even make more sense to think about Grove City or something, just assuming we do have a lot of Cincinnati folks driving up, if we could meet them on that side of the city, it might be a little easier for them. Yeah, so good idea. I'll explore that and continue to follow up. Emily, if you do hear back from them.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, fine. Cool. Cool. So we'll follow up on the price point. I mean, really the only expenditure we'd be looking at all is the venue. I can't imagine us having any other cost associated with this.
unless they start charging us for levy, because we'd have to pay for them on top of the venue, which would be another cost.
Yeah, which
Or we'd have to work it. None of us want to do that.
they told us that the concession stand just won't be open, and they told us we can.
Yeah, then food trucks are another $500 to $1,000. You have to run them for 4 hours. Minimum
A
usually.
lot of times they'll ask for like a minimum.
Minimum, yeah. So I wouldn't give them one if they didn't want to come in. We don't have to provide food. I mean, people can just, I don't want to take a loss on that. All right, so we'll track down additional facility options. Shouldn't be difficult. Assuming we can get somebody to answer us. Not that a couple of people had difficulty, but I have some time tomorrow. I can just email us to basically every high school in the city. See who's going to respond fastest. Cool. Keep moving forward, and we'll just continue the conversation on Slack if anybody has any other questions. Any additional thoughts before we wrap up in this right now?
The reason I reached out to the person that I did was because he could also get reps. I know you wanted to have like
Yeah.
officials, so the
Yeah.
group of them down if you find something.
But I also talked to my sons, like the guy who runs my son's club, who does all the rep assignments too, and he said if we would just donate a couple of pair of tickets to a rep for a game, most reps could do it. Game agnostic. So considering we've only sold out one game this season, we're going to have tickets available. That we could be.
In general, the board committee, my strong preference, we want to take the whole batch. Those would be the ones that I would prioritize. And it's,
I think for those, you could also say this whole family, it was 5.
You're going to walk, neighbors, friends, have a wedding.
To answer the question from the chat about sponsorships, that is one of the things that we've talked about, and it will be explored whether or not we can find some revenue that way to cover the cost of this thing.
Any other questions? All right, cool. Thanks, everyone. That's in travel. We survived the East Coast trip. It was a good time. team did not do well. But you know, fun was had by all. So I think we had a total of about maybe 18 fans who went to all 3 games, and as many as 35 at the NYC game. So decent numbers. Would have been higher if the team was performing better, but still a good time. And I appreciate Crew York for stepping up and facilitating everything. They did a good job.
I have a question.
Yep.
Are you still doing the photo contest?
We are. We have not gotten a submission the last few games, so it's.
Do you want to could we ask post for that on our socials? Ask people to
To send in pictures? Yeah, we could. Yeah.
Okay.
So I send an email out before every game, usually about a week or so before, with a lot of logistics and stuff like that. And there's a kind of a standard blurb at the bottom where we kind of introduce the photo contest, how to submit, stuff like that. That's been the predominant channel. Last year it looked okay, but it's kind of died off this year, which kind of makes me sad. I'd love to get it back going. Maybe we just need to focus a little more on it. It's a good idea. Oh, I guess another thing, just to put in the record for comments. Speaking of away games. I did thought I got all of the away games for the rest of the season posted. Someone pointed out I'd forgotten Miami, maybe wishful thinking on my part, but I am working to get that one posted as well. Everything except Miami for the rest of the season, obviously excluding Hellas Real, because I assume we'll do the same lottery that we do every year for that. So that's not posted, but everything else for the rest of the season is posted except for Miami. And as soon as I get pricing from them, that'll book to it. But
Did you have anything for the town hall? It's listed under partnerships. I didn't know.
no, he didn't tell me anything. Okay. So no.
All right. Thank you, Curtis.
real quick, hold on. I had asked in the chat, is there any updates on the grand prize winner from 2025?
Yeah, we still need to do that contest. I was planning on doing it over break. Can you hear me? Yeah. So yeah, I was planning on doing it over the break. I talked to John about that. So I was going to get in touch with you on that happening.
Cool. Thank you. All right, we'll go back to the top for Courtney's updates.
Okay, have fun. You can you hear me?
Yep.
Mhm.
What was the first one again? I'm sorry, I don't have my thing in front of me.
The sprint season and then the 27-28 season.
Oh yeah, this is probably not going to be a one-time discussion, but I wanted to plant looking forward with our bylaws meeting coming up this Saturday at the TIFO space on Alberta Street, 11 a.m. to about 1 to 1:30 p.m. So there's enough time to leave to watch the U.S. game. Be there, be square, people. But we need to decide before the second half of the season comes how we're going to handle memberships for the 2007-2008 seasons. We need to start the discussions on whether we continue the current membership into that mini season, if we don't do a membership for mini season, or if we're going to start memberships with that mini season that carry over and continue with the new calendar starting July into next year. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts, questions, concerns. That's kind of a spring on moment. There's good and bad with everything of how we do it. We just need to start putting the groundwork in on how that's going to be structured before we come to kind of sprinting and spiraling of how that's going to be handled.
Can we do like a mixture of both? Let's just say anybody that has a membership now carries it through the sprint season. And then anybody that wants to get a membership starting in, I don't know, we could pick a date, October, November, December, sometime, they get it through the sprint season and the next season. So we're kind of, so everybody, if they get it, between now and the sprint season, they get it for essentially a season and a half, if you will, as opposed to kind of breaking it up. Just a thought.
No, because the calendar is going to change. So the idea with bylaws is that everything will move to the summer. So once this weird season is over, that memberships will start in June and run to the end of May. So the question is really just this, like we could reopen memberships and just use the ones that we have, like the rest of what we have now for the sprint season if people wanted to join, but they're only going to be good from October or whatever until May. But anybody that currently has a membership would be the ones that get it for like a season and a half. If that makes sense.
I have a stupid idea of if we wanted to do a mini membership for the sprint season, and since Sprint's dead, we could probably use their logo and it's already crew colors, and we can make some type of dumb specialized merch for that mini season.
Did you have something?
I have something as far as the merch goes with that. If we're going to do that, and if we're going to start it in October or whenever, I want the merch in my hand, like done from whoever's making it by September, because I've gotten a lot of feedback from people this year who were like, I ordered my membership right away and I didn't get my shirt in now, and they're like, it's halfway through the season at this point. Are we gonna have to wait that long all the time? And the answer is always gonna be no, because that's not gonna happen again. But going forward, like I would like to have it done. So if it's not gonna be possible to have it like in hand before October 1st, then I say maybe we wait.
Well, we would just use for this mini season whatever we already have on hand.
Oh, the
shirts? Same stuff that we've already ordered. And then so you would have all of that, and then like you could start working on a membership kit for July so that you are posted out. So this is the only reason that this is weird is because the calendar is going to flip.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything like everything is going to change. Like terms, that's why we're redoing the bylaw.
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, whatever we have, we could just reorder from the two vendors that we've already sent stuff through.
Okay.
And it won't take as long if you get more, because I think she ordered like 800 or something.
People won't want
Yeah, not everybody's going to want
They're not gonna want
everything.
the same
So
shirt
even if
everywhere.
because the other idea was we could just sell $25 memberships
Yeah.
and not give out anything.
I was gonna suggest that, or we can go through and see what we have a surplus of and be like,
Right.
just order a shirt.
Yeah.
You can just have one of our sticks. It was waiting stock.
So there's options, but that's how that would we would just carry that over, and then you'd have more time to figure out what you're doing for the thing.
I would want us to order additional merchandise, even if it's the same stuff. That's the cash outlay coming in the next month or two. And B, ordering a smaller amount is going to increase the unit cost. The second order of t-shirts that we got were about 25% more expensive.
Agreed. And I don't know why.
600.
Yeah.
So I think either the base membership with no merch, or subject to availability,
No, I'm with you on that.
choose your priority, a fanny pack, whichever one we still have in stock.
Well, what we learned is that last year Brad also piecemealed a bunch of stuff. So he was ordering as orders were coming in. So he was only ordering like 1 or 2 pieces at a time. He wasn't ordering 20 pieces to have stuff on hand to hit that next mark.
Mhm.
So that's the other reason that things were just sort of
Yeah.
chaotic.
Right now it's a little chaotic. Like the second mini order we did, I wasn't part of it, but we're almost out of like the main sizes, and we have a ton of 4Xs and 5X, and I don't
Yeah.
know why those were ordered more of. We could have ordered another 25 shirts and gotten lowered in and had this extra large option. Yeah, but so going forward, I agree.
Just a lesson learned for iteration, whenever that iteration occurs.
And we're noting that with the budget offering might be smart right at home. This is like having other membership run is not necessarily support all the
Just co-signing that. Yeah, it's a sprint season, it's a half a season, but a lot of the costs of the wear and tear that they do are still going to be still going to be creative projects that are going to happen. I'm not going to say it's going to be, it's not going to come out, but there's going to be a mini Christmas. There's going to be something that props up and that comes up. There's probably going to be some sort of everyone makes the playoff situation. Tailgates are going to happen. From my point of view, everywhere in the drums, like there's, we're still having half the season, and within that, there's still going to be things that are going to be supported. And so, I don't know what form that takes to be smart, but like it's going to be take some form to help support.
We could do $25, or we could do $35, and they can get a mystery grab bag of merch. Because there's so much stuff that we don't need to spend money on it.
I also haven't run a report on it. I don't know if you run a report on it yet either, but like, a lot of our members have been more generous than they with us. So there are people who have seen it on more than one occasion. And also people pitched in donation general fund. I even see people who buy a Saver membership. They don't want merch. They would have purchased at the gold level, and they basically donate to that. And so I do think if there's an option of like a, 25 base membership and then 35 love us or some sort of ancillary small thing that
It won't cost a ton for shipping. We are going to shipping too.
that they're, you're up front with. These are the types of things
Not
that
shipped.
like the money that comes into the org, you are seeing in a bunch of different, right?
Yeah.
It is coming back out.
On a different tangent there, the other thing to keep in mind for selling memberships, and I'm going to put my Pollyanna hat on it. We stopped selling memberships for a reason at decision day. If we open up and say, and we're got new memberships for someone who wasn't a member in October for the rest of the year through July, we are opening that can of worms of, well, they only joined for playoff people. Pollyanna hat.
But we wouldn't open them until like December and say, November, whenever the crew is done playing, whatever that looks like. If we're done on decision day, or if we're done 2 weeks after decision day, we could open them like, let's say we get done we open them December 1st and say this is good from December 1st until the end of June, end of May, whatever it is. So that it just slides into that new spot. And then Courtney said we could talk with Supporter Supply where this for the sprint season, members can get access to exclusive Nordecke gear, order directly from them, and then everything is on Supporter Supply. So
You talked to me about that too.
yeah, shipping and all that stuff. And then Lenoy said to open it up again for the sprint season on MLS Cup final day. So there's options. So the people can't exactly say, I'm mad because I wanted a membership and this person got one. Well, they didn't though.
We lived through that.
Kevin.
So the front office, from my understanding, is doing season ticket memberships that include sprint season and 27, 28 combined.
I haven't seen that yet. I got an email the other day that you can do a remainder of this season and then all of the sprint season. They might have both out there, but I haven't seen the other one.
Cincinnati's offering that option, but I haven't seen anything from the coach.
So my thought process would be, tickets are different to you guys, but if we order tickets next year, how are we going to handle the fact that we have two different memberships spanning the same set of tickets?
I really feel like the easiest thing for us to do and the best thing is to let our memberships expire at the end of the season, all of them. Resell new memberships at our normal time and then just say that they're good for all of the 27-28 season. Yeah. I feel like that's our best option.
If you make the playoffs during the sprint season, you'd have to pause the playoffs which I guess.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't even like the sprint season.
well, what we're talking about for the bylaws is changing the term of everybody so that it would start, let's say, July 1st, depending on whenever we figure out what the schedule is going to be, either June 1st or July 1st, to give us time to have elections and do all the fun stuff that we need to do at the end of the season. So that's the other reason of switching. The membership would have to switch with that because that's how you are signed up to vote. Because all of the stuff for AGM vote extends on you being a current member, and your voting is at the tail end of the membership, not the beginning end of, or the beginning of the new one.
If you do it the way it said, though, it would match up. So if you move voting to the end of the, like, between the two seasons,
Yes.
it would be in the off season. And then if you just gave everybody a 15-month or 18-month membership instead of the 12-month like we're doing right now for one time only, you would then line up with voting automatically.
My one concern with that is that as we're increasing that price point, there is some level of people going, well, I don't know that I want to commit to 18 months. I think from a sales perspective, and just my feeling, we're probably better off with a cheap 6-month sprint season membership and then a regular price rather than say pay up front for an 18-month membership. I think there is some price sensitivity, and I think we may.
Well, that's why we were talking about extending the ones that we currently have because they were so much this year.
Well, they're the same.
Yeah,
No, we added a $65 tier this year.
yeah, but that came with additional stuff. That wasn't so anybody that
But
chose that knew what they wasn't like all memberships were
No.
all of a sudden more expensive.
Wasn't the base membership 20 last year? It was 25.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Either one. Yeah.
So one way to do this, because I take Bud's point, which is like there's a point of what you're doing. But if we do keep the sprint season, I think to more of a extremely merch light or non-existent merch perspective, then it should be easier for us to implement push. Because you're just managing a product or a series of products that way. And it's less, we have to have ordered a whole suite of merch ahead of time. And work off of that. Even if we're like, okay, there's no Nordecke keychain and that's it for the spring. That's something that can manage and plan for. As long as we're planning well ahead of time, it's June, and we get planned for, effectively February. That we know exactly what we're doing for both. It should be easy to manage as long as there's not a double merch drop situation. It might be easier to manage what Bud's talking about. Because I do take your point. You get to a point where people just see the price and it becomes prohibitive for a one-time purchase. And we don't want to turn people away from that. We want as many that as possible.
To maybe kind of build upon that. I know we have a committee who's kind of looking at that issue, so it's exempted to push this for too much. But the big question is, what are they getting for their membership too? Like for instance, we're only going to play Cincy once next year in the stub season. I assume they'll schedule at least once, but it could be an away game. And if it's not home, I think a lot of members join. Sure, they always real lot. I would assume that happens. So whatever the value proposition they want is, I think that's the big question. And having only half a season could deter some of that.
We should put that question in our survey the next time we send a survey in. What makes someone decide they want to buy a membership? What do they expect? Because we can sit and talk about, we know where it goes, but there's 600 other people that some of them don't know what we do. They'll still contribute.
And
So I think it's a good question to ask members.
if it's cost prohibitive because it's for 18 months, what if they are able to buy the base for, you know, an 18-month price, but then later in the season, we can put the membership t-shirt on the website and they can purchase it. That, like, maybe they're just like, I can't spend more than $65 right now for 18 months, but I do want the shirt eventually. I can get on my next paycheck, you know what I mean? Like, then it's still, it's not just a one and done, it's gone.
Devil's advocate for your thought, and kind of to your point too on value. I feel like the more opportunities you give somebody to evaluate whether to give us money, the higher the likelihood at some point they say this is not important to me at this point. And surveys are helpful to an extent, but I feel like there's a lot of selection bias in our membership right now as far as who fills those out versus who it fills.
But I also think Nordecke has stepped up a lot this year. Social media presence is great right now. Like, I'm finally seeing the posts in my feed, and I never did last year. So I think a lot more people are seeing stuff. When we posted one thing about having merch at the Pride Festival, and we sold a bunch of stuff. Like, I feel like that's Fonzie's doing a great job with social media. So I think that can really help. And I mean, people are excited, is what I'm trying to say. Like, they're just like, you know, something's going on.
All right.
One of the things that came from Brad's survey was the higher level tier. I think that was something that we're asking our members if they wanted. So even if we get one or two things that we didn't know beforehand, I do think it's worth it.
Courtney, go ahead.
Like I said, I think there's a lot of good points to take away from good and bad, merch, not merch, what's included if we do a mini season, kind of like I said at the beginning. And I know we have other committees kind of forming and doing stuff with like fundraising and membership push and stuff like that. But like I said, we're only having our first meeting on Saturday. This is just one of many meetings that we're going to be having with deputies with board. But where was I getting at? We have to keep in mind, and we have to start planning now for that sprint season, because whatever we end up choosing with memberships and bylaws and everything to shift, that is going to impact how we're able to execute for the sprint season. Because our bank account, depending on how that's extended, if we don't have that revenue coming in, we're not going to be able to do as many TIFOs. We're not going to have as much game day with zip ties and things like that. We're not going to be able to do as much at the beginning of the year with community and donations and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to put like a downer on this, but like, this is a big decision. I'm glad that everyone like is bringing their points and stuff like that. And like I said, it's a big one. We're not going to come to an agreement tonight, but I want everyone to kind of take away and kind of take some time to think about this and write that out, because whatever we decided is going to make a major impact on that sprint season and then going into that next calendar switch of a full season.
Lenoy, see your chat. Thank you for that.
No. Okay, yeah.
All right.
You want to get Justin's update, because Justin's in there now.
Yeah, Justin, did you have an update since you weren't able to share earlier before we jump into budgets?
We are pretty in Norm. Is Norm there yet?
Yes, he is.
Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're pretty much got all the products created for second half tickets. We're pretty much ready to go. We were looking at a go live for it of next week, to start driving ticket sales. Obviously everything except for the 2 home lottery games, which are Hell is Real and Miami. We're looking for a go live for the lottery the week after next, and keep it open for 10 to 14 days before making the drawing. And hopefully that will also drive some new memberships as well, because it seems to do that for people to try and get in the lottery. But yeah, that is, that's kind of our update. I do have, we have been bantering about, some ideas for, themes for the tailgate. And, now that we have an extra one in July with Burnley coming, I think, we've got some good ideas and, more to come as, those finish percolating. And yeah, Courtney.
Quick question, and this is just more of me, and this might be for both sets of game days. I know that there were talks about over the summer break, kind of reassessing some banners and drum fixes, everything that. Do you have any
to-go
dates
menu I
or
can
time
take with
frames?
me?
Bill, quiet.
Sorry, I've muted him twice. I don't know how he keeps getting unmuted.
But do we have any plan of that? Any dates working with TIFOs, like at the TIFO space, to create new games, anything like that? If people are getting the itch, like watching World Cup games, and they're feeling creative or doing anything like that we have yet on the books or discussions with that?
I'll let, I know we've had this, I'll let Paco take that one.
Yeah, no, we have some ideas to get to go through those banners again. We did a kind of a small run through to kind of organize everything a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, when we were doing all the Pride stuff. So yeah, our plan is to get in there hopefully soon. Once this kind of calmed down a little bit, I know Jerry was saying that he was a little busy with some stuff that was going on with Tommy Temple and all this other stuff, some of the code stuff. So, to get new events and to kind of go through all the banners, give some of them what they need.
Yeah, Jared's giving us a couple of days for us to go and review that, and then as far as creative, like, I mean, 12 better time so that if we wanted to replace any, we have the time for like, for July, like get them done for the TIFO space. We don't have a complete like inventory of what we want to replace it.
Yeah, I think he essentially said that, we're free to set up time. He just said around, the Ecuador Guatemala friendly is bad, and then around the Challenge Cup is bad, and then probably obviously around Burnley will be bad too. But yeah, he said they're pretty open on when we can get in to do our assessment.
The other thing that had been something that had been on the to-do list over break, and it could be on for a while along with Brett, was basically taking measurements of our available space and our existing banners. Not necessarily all of them, but getting an idea of what a small, medium, large banner looks like and having that jotted down so that we don't guesstimate on the fly. That creative, and they come and be like, well, this doesn't really fit well with a lot of the ones we want to put up there.
Are you saying the system that we didn't have to do a clean time?
I'm saying as the person who cut the fabric for the Lord Guillermo ones last year, I might have overshot the size on the field. And if we have size jotted down, it'll be easier to say, okay, we're creating something, let's create it for this purpose. Because for uppers and party, we have a little bit of a thin bench, which is fine because those are works that we have a bunch that we like to deploy every game. It would be nice to have a little more optionality there. In case of
All right. So question for Justin or really anybody, I guess. We had talked a little bit about the Hell is Real home game during one of our committee meetings. And there was some confusion as to how we were going to price that game out. I thought at the beginning of the year, we said we were not changing prices from last year, which would mean that Hell is Real would be like 64, 65. Some people had understood that it was going to be priced the same as every other game we've been doing. meaning the like 3740, whatever that is.
39.44.
3944. Thank you. So if we could get some clarity on that.
I'm going off memory here. So if someone has that record, different record. My memory is that we gave ourselves, we didn't make a firm decision at the time, but we also gave ourselves the out of basically saying we're holding things with the exception of Miami and Hells. And then that final just was not made.
Yeah, I think we just decided that we weren't gonna do dynamic pricing for the for cruise miss.
Right.
But we did not make a decision because we have all that pricing, right, bud, of what we're gonna get charged. So
Our cost for Cincinnati is 50 a ticket, our cost for Miami is 58.
yes, we're gonna have to dynamic price all those.
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe our public messaging around that was basically prices remain the same, some exceptions apply.
Yeah.
You know what those exceptions are,
Okay.
kind of thing, and that we internally haven't revisited that during the first half of the season because it was a second half of the season.
I can check. I have a vague recollection that for the season. Miami
That's-
and Cleveland
That's,
was-
I think last year was 60. I want to say it was 64.
Sound right? But
I'm in the system now, let me pull it up real quick.
But
We got
the point, like, we didn't finalize a decision, which is basically what we needed to know, that we didn't like lock ourselves into missing out on a whole lot of revenue.
But now is the time.
But
to make
yes,
that decision.
so
So I'm gonna cue Justin up here, like essentially Justin's vision of the lottery is keep it open we have time during the World Cup break and keep it open for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And give people the opportunity to enter, but do it early enough where people know they've won with enough time to. So that's why we were aiming for sooner rather than later going live on the lottery, with the idea that by early July, members know if they won the lottery winners or not.
Neither that, I think that's a very smart idea, because I've talked to people who said they would not enter the lottery just because they were worried about not winning, so like, I'll just screw it, I'll screw the secondary market now. Yeah, so I think it's very smart.
But until we have something squared away.
so let's,
Make a motion to price it, or I'm not sure that.
Yes.
What price? $5 over what we're paying? Like,
no,
what are we gonna do?
you said our cost is,
This is the one that if we're going to take back, so.
yeah, we do it.
Without just completely gouging, I think at a minimum, we priced it what we priced last year.
I'm pulling
64,
it down.
69.
What were Cincinnati's away? Do you know what their away prices are?
They charge, yeah,
But
they
we
charge us a
also
lot.
understand that's what we charge their fans, although their front office subsidizes. At least they did last year.
You said our cost was going to be 50.
The made up dynamic price.
So 50 and credit card fees would be about 56.
What is that?
So
What's the fee in charging regular?
I'm gonna go on Ticketmaster
That's-
right
that
now and
is
see
season
what
ticket,
are
like
tickets
this.
right
We are
now
season
going.
ticket holders.
Resale right now in Nordecke is around 83, with the rest of the stadium around 90 to 100.
So I'd say 70.
So the lottery last year, so how was real home? Was a $10 deposit on a $65 ticket.
I think at the minimum $70, some inflation. It's 96, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
come
think-
on, we're right on the cusp of funny number, guys.
Oh my gosh.
69.
You gotta get the 96 on that.
Thank you,
69,
Justin.
96. There you go.
All right.
We're on the same wavelength.
Why that number's funny?
It's 2 after 6, 7.
All right, so should we make a motion on it then? Or do we need to make a motion on it?
It's how it's real and it's the version of 96.
Who's we?
You guys are. Mental gymnastics.
Let's I want to like double and triple check all of this stuff so that we make sure we are using a number that actually is going to make us a little bit of money rather than rushing this decision.
Just to be funny.
Yes. Um,
$50. 75 months.
so
It's the listed.
can we, since we've had the discussion now, can we make the decision in Slack?
Lenoy says 65 for members and 75 for non-members. Is it
It's a lot.
So there's not gonna be no non-members. Everyone has to be membered into the lottery, right?
Unless members don't buy them up, which hopefully is
Or
not
we-
about to happen.
Okay, then split the difference and make it 70.
Okay, so
And I would offer them 70.
any other thoughts or questions on that before we table the official motion for Slack? Hearing none. All right. Justin, did you have anything else before we go back to finance update and budgeting?
I'm good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tap in on this, just to make sure, because we got waylaid by how it's real. So basically, what we're saying is we're gonna drop second half tickets with the exclusion of Miami and Ellis Real in one big batch. The way I'm building them is they're 2 minutes apart on the website. So over the course of 30, 45 minutes, they'll all populate on the website and they go live at the same time. The intent there is to go like as soon as possible. We had put next week as our target because we want ticket sales start coming in. We want to give ourselves as fighting a chance as we can. But on our side, what we're hoping for is we want these all live before the World Cup. And then what we really want is to have a cadence with comms to remind people during World Cup games, like through the World Cup season. That we have available.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
but
no, go ahead.
and that includes, I think it would be smart to have certain messaging after USA games, after Mexico games, after Canada games. So that it goes out and hopefully we start to get income coming through for that. But
Yeah, we need to capitalize on selling on future Golden Ball winner Max Arfton, being able to see him in person before he leaves.
Cool. Thank you, Norm. All right. We're going to jump back to finance update and budgeting. Give me 1 second here. Hopefully this does not end this. Alex, can I get one of those converters?
Plug it into my computer.
No.
Montman's mine. That won't work unless it's plugged into that.
What?
The thing won't work.
I'm not using this. All right. Can y'all hear me still? Cool. All right. But if you want to go ahead.
probably the last thing.
So start talk primarily match tickets. That is the elephant in the room. First 7 matches, ticket sales as well as parking helps subsidize the match tickets to some extent, and it's package deal basically. On average for the matches, ticket sales, we've lost about $1,400 a match. The only one we sold out so far was Christmas, and we made about $750 in ticket sales and another couple hundred for parking. So in round numbers, we made about 950. The worst, no surprise, was the Galaxy. Wednesday's checks are bad, period.
That was a rating.
Said, yes, we won't even get into that. So, in total, for the 7 matches so far, we lost to $10,000 on tickets. We made it 1,500 parking, so net loss of about 86. Saturday averages, due in part to Helen's Rio, we lost on average about $730. Influenced by not the Christmas, but we did decently for Saturday. We lost money on each one, but Saturday's, no surprise, were better than any other day. Sunday, or the 2 Sunday matches, we lost about 1,500. And a non-Saturday, so basically looking at Sunday and Wednesday, we lost about $1,900. That leads, jump ahead a little bit, because our first post World Cup match is a Wednesday. Yes. Yes. So I think kind of jumping into some action plans. Ohio State's going to be in summer session. We might want to start looking at pushing like we did at the last minute, the Galaxy, and get a head start on pushing during summer session at OSU and maybe a few other colleges, whether it's discounted or just getting the word out on campus that this is an option that's available in the summer when there are no other OSU sports activities.
So we had at one point talked about doing a partner appreciation, try to get word out to partners to buy discounted tickets. And I think for many of our partners are bars, et cetera, for which weekends are prohibited, but perhaps if we could get, if we had enough time to really put out the word. To maybe.
And mid-August, we got the second Wednesday game, which is Montreal, which is not yeah, well, the last one's October. Yeah.
One in July, one in August, one in
October, and that's Charlotte.
Got 2 hands raised in the chat. Courtney, you were first. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that needs to be a week of ongoing from this point forward. I think if it's a Saturday game, we assess Monday. And Norm, do you have the numbers for those set aside tickets, what those sales look like? Because I know we reached out to community partners and to partnerships. I'd like to see if you have that. If you don't, we can try to get that later. But I want to see what those numbers look like. And I think, like for a Saturday game on Monday, those emails and links need to be going out so that people have those opportunities. If it looks like it's not going to be a sellout game or something big like that. But yeah, I think if you're able to get those numbers from that special one, I think that'll help us too to know how successful that's been. And I think that just needs to be a point of contention going forward, because I would rather make up money on those discount tickets than frankly be holding my dick in my hand with a bunch of unsold tickets.
Let's get those numbers for that kind of special thing later, so we can keep this really finance and budget updated. Justin also had a question.
No, I was just going to say, in terms of helping to go tickets, I was going to reach out to a lot of the people that bought like bulk, like 8, 10. I think we had 112, just to see what the what the onus was there, just to see if we can engineer comms to get more of that, because I think that would help as well.
Cool. Thank you, sir. All right. I think that is it for now from online.
So we have, including Leagues Cup, we have 13 matches the remainder of the season. The two Tuesday Leagues Cup, we only opted in for 30 tickets, so I'll call them almost a non-event.
Cost for those, just so everyone knows.
Our cost is $25 to us. So and our cost for the Friday is $32.
So essentially the same, off by $1.
And presumably we haven't, I don't think we've had that discussion, but presumably we will have the lot for parking for the Tuesday games.
So we have had the discussion previously. Firm again before that comes, but that has been it's been brought up. And it's been not a problem, but always verifiable for it.
Yes.
The other thing I think we should verify is if they're gonna have, for the Tuesday games, if they're gonna have our gate open. And that should be the determining factor, because they didn't for the first two for Open Cup games, and you had to walk all the way to the plaza. So I think if they're not gonna have that gate open, we don't do parking.
Well, so they're so we have gotten confirmation that we've asked when will we have the lot on those days. Basically been told normal time. So as soon as we want to open it, staff at work. So that's not the issue. I think Jared is going to be the person that we're going to have to ask on the procedure stuff. But the different, like, I personally don't want this to be true. It hurts my soul that I want that to say. Open Cup is viewed as a lesser class of game by both the org and the fan base than Leagues Cup. Both because people are opted into it, or there's an opt-out, opt-in situation. And
That's the same across both, though. It's opt-out. It's included, but it's opt-out for both.
And then also the fan base that comes to Leagues Cup matches and the atmosphere around is higher. I would anticipate, like, we need to ask questions. I anticipate the answer is that Nordecke is going to be.
The other thing that, like, one of the big drivers of not having the lot for the Open Cup was that the lots around the area were significantly cheaper than the crew would sell our spots. The garage was $6 or $7.
Yeah,
and
they weren't going to give us a discount.
So I think that needs to be the real determining factor, is looking at what the other places are charging around there as of whenever we have to make that call, and then deciding based on that. On a note, the opt-out for the Open Cup game is tomorrow. Have we already finalized that opt-out?
That was one of my points discussed, to make sure that we've never formally had to opt in or opt out in the past, but I don't want that to bite us. So I saw a discussion in Slack, but I didn't see anything formal that we had made a movement and.
Sure, let me put this out.
Yeah.
Given Open Cup trends, I think it'd be a bad financial decision for us to opt in for any tickets for the Open Cup.
Yeah.
And that hurts my soul.
Especially, well, and it's also a Tuesday. It's going to be a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. It's a Wednesday night game, and then there's a Saturday. We're home Saturday, so it's in the stretch of a couple of games.
Can I motion to opt out of Open Cup?
Second.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Curtis is yes. Paco?
There's two.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. All right, we will opt out up tickets.
We also need to, talk about, I need to do it this second, but Burnley is an opt-out, opt-in as well.
I would again say it's a friendly, we should opt out. We should not be buying and selling tickets. Motion to opt out of Burnley match.
Second.
Thank you, Curtis, Paco, Sarah, Emily. Brent says yes.
But we do want the
Motion passes. Norm suggests a caveat that if the lot is available, we do want the lot for the Burnley match for a tailgate.
Yes, well, parking will be a separate
Yeah.
vote for open cup and for that based upon parking and willingness with that. And we can take that to Slack once we get that information, if that sounds good.
Yep, sounds good.
No, all right, not to interject and take too much away from that. Bud, would you say we've sold out of parking every match?
Yeah, it's like,
Yes, we did.
we sold out or provided the partners.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's consistent demand.
Okay.
there.
I think that with that, and this doesn't make me feel good, I think we need to talk about second half and going forward, increasing the pricing of parking. And that sucks because a lot of us are parkers. We go in the lot, we provide and do stuff like that. But I think even just that little bit of extra revenue by a couple of dollars per match, that's going to help us set off costs. And I know it's not a favorable thing. I don't want to, but I think even raising it $3 more is still going to be cheaper than Astor Park and other close to the stadium options. And I think that needs to be a serious consideration for that.
What are we? We're
So
currently
I-
at 20.
Can I,
Yeah.
I want to chime in here just to say there's something that you guys aren't aware of that I want to make you aware of, being the person who fortunately has to watch the things roll in. There has been a drop off in demand for some matches during the first half of the parking. Yes, we have sold out. But for some matches, especially over the past 4 to 6 weeks, it's taken more time. In a normal parking situation, you have the Hunger Games, parking sells out inside of 15 minutes. We've had multiple situations, Galaxy being by far the worst, but we've had multiple situations where that has started to drag on, and I've started some indications of demand decreasing. And so I'm not saying I disagree with anything for financial help. I'm just saying there's not no risk there.
I think the people who
Maybe
get parking
we
there are
increase it for a weekend and keep it at 20 for the two seasons.
a good idea, because is it fair to say that week demand is on weekday games?
It is not always for, like, we've seen some weaker demand for Saturdays, Saturday games, but like, yes, Wednesday games are weaker.
But then how do you explain that to people? Because you can't just say the cost is going up. Like, then you're like doing the thing that Kroger's doing where they're adjusting their price based on the.
I mean, it's a different product. It's still the same price for every person, but a Wednesday parking spot is different product than a Saturday.
Also, here's your justification. You're almost certainly going to have less tailgating time.
That's true. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Um,
because we don't open the lot until like 4.
All right, comment. Hang on. Comment from Bethany. You had your hand up for a while. Please go ahead.
So one thing to keep in mind too, with the demand going down, is that Comms does not heavily advertise North Lot. It has historically not been heavily advertised, and so we have kept that trend. However, if we notice demand going down, if we're not selling out, we can really start pushing that in socials and in the newsletter. So I'm not as worried about demand going down so far. But even raising it by $5, like, that's still very reasonable for parking, and that is keeping an additional $200 a match probably that we would be getting.
But $5 would be $250 minus
So-
fees. So 225, 230.
So remember, we've already been told by the front office a year ahead of time, regardless of anything we decide for the second half, parking is going up next year. Our cost is going up next year.
It was just
So-
a dollar though, right?
No,
I thought
No,
it was a dollar.
it's to 20, so it's going up 5.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to raise prices anyway. We're going to be in a situation where we're potentially going to have to raise rates, right?
But here's the thing. Like, anything that we do right now is to offset a very painful short-term problem with our match day tickets. We adjust that after this season because we only did a 1-year contract. So we can get rid of that painful situation after this year. We just have to sustain until the end of this season.
But as Lenoy says in the chat, it's almost an extra $2,500 if we raise it $5.
Yep.
So that's, I think $5 is, you also have to think, we have Miami and Cincy, so we're at least know that those two are gonna sell out. And we're on an upswing.
Yeah, you have parking for the 10 remaining home matches. Plus 10 remaining regular season home matches. Plus 3 Leagues Cup, that gets you to 13. Plus friendly, that gets you to 14. And then anything that comes from a potential playoff situation, which can get you to 15.
It was open Sunday, so you.
Are there any more conversations in the Slack?
There was,
That was,
yeah, that was pretty much it.
that was his only comment.
Okay, motion to raise the weekend tailgate license to $25.
Okay, so this was, thank you, Courtney, for introducing early. It was a part of the fundraising meeting update that we were going to talk about later. We had discussed the idea. All good. We had discussed the idea of 30. I actually had a few different members talk to me privately sometime between the last game and our fundraising meeting, and they told me that it's insane that we're only charging 20 and that they would pay 30. Now that's like 2 people, so that's not all 50 passes or whatever we have, but
I mean, no one has said this out loud yet, so I'm gonna say this out loud. What's out there? Like, this is also, we are seeing a decrease in demand, so we're going to our most dedicated members and saying, charging you more. When those people also pay to prioritize to provide for others, sorry, words are failing me. And so we're asking them to pay more for this other issue, right?
Hey, Norm, can I respond to that? Those most dedicated fans who are almost certainly going to go to the crew game regardless of whether they can tailgate. What other option do they have if they don't in those lots? Astor Garage is what, 50 a game?
It's
30.
And it's blacked out, so you can't even park, you can't get additional parking now.
House, that's 25 a game. So 22. So pretty much anywhere that, and also there's the proximity effect. In any stadium, you pay a premium for proximity. You know, the closer you are to the stadium, the more expensive it is. And the only other thing close to the stadium is 40 in terms of that close to the stadium. So I guess the point being, yeah, we're asking them to pay more, but they're also getting a value that even outside of the tailgating aspect,
that's the other, there's a premium factor in that it's the only lot where you are allowed to have the grills and that kind of tailgating setup. So you're paying for that in addition to the parking.
You're paying for free food and beer. To be honest, yeah.
Stagnant, if you think about it, since like 2018. Because when we were at the old stadium, we were paying $20. We've been paying $20 to go watch the Aviators, and they're awful.
Some of you have. That's
It's
insane,
worth
but
it, especially since they cleaned it up for us.
Yeah.
they did that.
We kind of put that work in.
I know, trust me, I know.
But
All
I
right.
think that's the other thing. It's just been I think people are willing to pay 30 because what's the other thing is going to be Astor's going to continually go up because they own that lot. They've now cut off access to that. So you have to buy it on game day. And they can charge, I think they charge 30 for Astor right now anyway. And most of the people, at least like for us, like I know if Kristen doesn't get a parking pass, she parks in Astor anyway. So people are still going to go, like they're still spending that extra money for the proximity. So I don't think there's a trade-off of if we raise it to match Astor. Our other statement could, like, our reasoning could also be because that's what Astor charges, and that's your next option. So you're not really, you're not saving any money one way or the other, but it's going to be the same people that complain about it being 20 are going to be the people that complain that it's 30.
Any other thoughts on the difference between 25 and 30?
Lenoy says 30 for a Saturday, Sunday, and 25 for a weekday.
And 25, so even increasing on the weekdays too.
So doing a $5.
I think on the demand concern, like Bethany was saying, even just a social post the next morning, if they didn't sell out in the 10 minutes that they normally do. I went to a lot of tailgates before I knew how to buy parking there.
Yeah.
So there probably are people that are like, I didn't know I could buy these. I thought you had to be in the secret club because they just didn't realize it never happened on
Well, you do
Wednesdays.
have to be in the secret.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Just a type of-
Is up to like 14K views.
So considering one, we're functionally into another sprint season. And we are going to have some quantity of people coming into that. Probably worth re-upping it at least once.
Yeah, we have several videos planned. One around pushing tickets, one around the tailgate thing, so if we want to like highlight the things, and then we have several topics that we're gonna batch over the spring so that we can distribute all throughout the session. And then we have almost like a ton of chance. So if you want to do the chance video,
We've been kind of talking about the ticket price. We've been talking, I think there seems to be no one speaking out against $30 for weekend games. Is there a quick chat about weekday games? Stay 20?
that was Lenoy suggested 25 for weekdays. He said 30 for weekends, 25 for weekdays. That seems reasonable to me, but I also only buy parking when there's a TIFO, so I'll let other people weigh in on that.
I like the idea of 26 just because it's 2026, but that's an irrational.
Yeah. 25. That's
All right. Well, hang on. There's. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's do this then. Motion to change second half parking prices, $30 for weekend games, $25 for weekday games.
Second,
Thank you, Curtis and Justin. Curtis is yes. Paco is yes. Sarah,
yes.
Emily is yes. Brent is yes. Justin is yes. Motion passes. Thank you, guys. Knocking stuff
My child's living. You don't need my yes.
I
No.
Nope.
Freaking rude.
All right. Bud, did you have anything else, sir?
Again, talking about the rest of the season, I guess we've got the 3 Wednesday games. The only other non-Saturday game or non-weekend, well, Pachuca, the Friday nights, I think it's going to have the same demand as it's on Saturday. Lucky for us, the only other match that is Miami, which is a Sunday. So that the Sunday slack demand, hopefully, the fact that it's Miami will take care of that.
We also have early start games for our last 2 Saturday matches.
like Howard.
2:30 and 2.
Just for awareness, has anybody compared our fall schedule to the annoying ass football team in this town?
The Aviators will not be in season.
All right, that's something we should do just so we're all aware of it and we can game plan. Doesn't necessarily need to be right now.
Sure it does. There is TBD for start times for basically anything that matters.
Okay.
They should have up at least they may have the first 3 up.
Anything that says TBD will be a noon kick. Thank you, Fox. That'll be noon. Fox always takes the big ones.
Home games on September 5th and September 12th. Those are both 7:30 games for the crew.
Nope, 12's away.
Yeah, you're right. September 5th is home, and that's a 12:30 kick for Ohio State, and it is home for us.
Colorado. Yeah, that one could end up being challenging.
Well, but like put up some big screens, like we could like coordinate and advertise it from a lot.
Or we could not do that and just.
But if we can sell money in this season, I'm like kind of like, I don't know, we'll do what we have.
No, I choose not to.
I mean, the 19th is probably going to be the only day that we have a conflict because that game,
It's announced as noon.
but it's Kent State. So the only, I can see that may have interest for both sides of people.
That's,
So, I mean, can't read
All right.
Kent State, but
So October 24th is Ohio State's bye week, which is good for us. October 31st, which while not a home game, is potentially a competing team.
no, it won't be. It'll be at USC, so it'll be late.
Yes.
Because that'll be a 3. At most, it'll compete at 3:30.
Yeah.
So it'll just be a cut close.
It's decision day, which means.
No, decision day is not until November.
It's just our last home
It's our
game.
last home game.
You're right.
All right, Courtney, hand up. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as Ashley said, if we really want to appease people that may not go to the games or, go tailgate for the first half or do something like that, we can find a screen and something and point it away from Brent and have it streaming. So if people do want to watch them, that's always an option to have. I'm not opposed to that.
Dumpster with their phone.
That's right. That's right. All right. Yeah, we can look at all that stuff later. It was more just bringing it up so that it's on our radar so we can game plan. All right. Back to finances and budgeting. Okay, so we have 10 games left to pay for. What is our total cash that we are going to have to pay for all 10 of those games?
13 counting the League's Cup and about $67,000.
13.
Average.
Been about that, yeah. Actually about 1,200, including parking.
What's our cash position? Not counting the future outlays for those games.
We are at about 35,000 at the moment.
If that trend continues, there's quick math. We solve it, but in a very dire situation. Assuming we enter season 5, who's picking the game?
Yeah, we entered at about 30. We're at about 35 now. So we've actually, thanks to the membership sales, we've actually increased. But
We're at 600 members, and we have 3 big membership events left on the calendar that will drive memberships. Those being Hell's Real Lottery home, Hell's Real Lottery away, and Inter Miami Lottery. So we have both the lottery component of that. Those are allotments that will sell out. But we also, those will drive some amount of members.
And agree with everything Norm said, but on top of that, we're already discussing raising the prices, as I think we should, for at least one of those home games, and then potentially do Cincy and Miami. Whereas we didn't have a single game in the first half of the season where we charged anything other than the standing.
Right.
So, assuming those will be sell out into the higher dollar amount, even if it doesn't get us back to break even, it should definitely be into that.
We also don't have a historic amount of, or we don't have a 25 precedent we're adhering to for Miami because
Cleveland, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you already said it, but can you repeat what is our current cash balance in the bank?
And you also have to think out of that first half, not only did we spend tickets, we also bought membership kits, which was a significant chunk of.
yeah, our
that.
our membership merch was, I'll round it to say $10,000 outlay. So just non-recurring, which kind of going back to where our cash position might end up at the end of the season. Normally, a concern that we have is, do we have enough to be able to buy the merch? But if we're going to do for the sprint season a merchless or the grab bag, that's a $8,000 to $15,000 outlay that we're not going to see in the first quarter without revenue. So, from a cash flow perspective, going to the non-merch helps alleviate the issue that we're going to have potentially at the end of the season going into the next season, because that is the number one outlay that we have going forward before the season starts.
That was also the big, well, we made like what, almost 26 off of memberships.
Yeah, we're at about 29 in revenue and about 10 in expense.
Okay, so
18, call it 17.5 with fees.
I knew that it was I knew that we at least broke even. I just didn't know what the profit was because we didn't ever get numbers from Melanie. When Courtney and I asked for them, just to see sort of where cash flow was. So I know we sold a significant amount of the $65 ones, which helped because I think our overhead on those ended up being like almost $30.
Yeah.
Like there's a pretty good profit margin on those.
$650. The initial batch of t-shirts were about 10 a piece.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, just hopefully this is like the worst case scenario is losing an average of 1,500 per game, which is slightly above what you say we're losing now. If we continue that trend, that would drop us by about $20,000 in our current cash balance.
And a couple of those games we couldn't lose because the midweek Leagues Cup, we're only getting 30 tickets, so we have.
Yeah, I'm just using that number to be like, okay, this is hopefully like the worst. Like if everything went bad, this is it.
I would be a lot more concerned if we had the usual preseason outlays. Thrilled with what it's looking, but
So
But
we
that-
have, we have basically 7 home matches from now when school comes back. 5 of which we have significant tickets for. Unfortunately for us, 3 of those are week matches. Or sorry, of the ones that go out, 2 of them are week games. We have the first match after the break is a Wednesday game, and then Leagues Cup being on a Friday night. It's a challenge. It's not awful, but it's going to be a challenge. But we do have Cincy home. Oh wait, no, we have 2 Wednesday games. We have the Montreal Wednesday game, and then we have New England home on Saturday. So we aren't getting as many of our summer matches this year. We're having just bad compared to prior years, but this should be a time where some of those sales are better.
Courtney has also asked if, since Sarah had mentioned doing Pride, Gahanna's Pride, do we want to explore reaching out to anyone else if we know they're having events to try to do membership pushes?
Yes.
So that's just something to be put out there,
Yeah.
like where we're at least, like the Cage and maybe Aviva and some of the other places. We could maybe talk to the AO people about doing one at Land Grant. But
Our meeting about membership talked about watch parties being drives at watch parties.
perfect. For the World Cup watch parties?
So,
I mean, everything's
Okay.
all
right, so that's all like fundraising and membership stuff. To bring this back to finance and budgeting, like basically we need to look right now at what we have in the bank, what we think we're going to lose, and use that to what each director wants to allocate to their position for the remainder of the season. That's what we need to try to do right now. We have 35 in the bank, said using that super conservative, like plan on losing 20,000 that leaves 15. And I would not plan on using all of that, obviously. Like that would be. What's up, Kevin?
Games here, which would put us down at 25 to before we pay for anything else.
I am also open to bringing merch to other tailgates, to like big ones, because if we tell people ahead of time and they expect it, like we could sell t-shirts, we could make a few $100 every game. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I don't really drink too much at the tailgate, so I can stay sober and do it. I don't care. So if that would help, and if anybody wants me to do that, I
Brent, to your earlier question, do you want to go through a similar exercise like we did for the first half in terms of asking directors to put together?
Yeah, I think ideally we would leave tonight with budgets so that approved budgets this time around so that everybody knows what they can spend in the second half of the season.
So you're just suggesting like a blank, everyone gets X dollars as opposed to put a list together?
Yeah.
Okay, last time. Okay.
Thanks, bud. Thank you. Courtney, did you have a question or comment here?
Yes, unfortunately. We also have another outstanding invoice from Supporter Supply that when doing their taxes, they did find from 2025 membership t-shirts, we have an outstanding balance of $4,700.62. Now, Morgan has been very gracious in giving us that time, but it looks like there weren't records on that because it was through text messages between last year's merch director and Shrek, making those smaller orders of rather than buying bulk to have on hand. Now, I don't have a specific end date when those are going to be. I have the invoice in my mailbox at the board email. If anyone would like to see a copy of that, it has all the t-shirts laid out by size, by the amounts and cost. But that is something we are going to need to pay sooner rather than later to stay in good graces with our oldest merch partner and supply.
Basically take all those numbers and knock them down 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the good news is based on what the budgets were, I don't know what your specific plans are, but the first half budget for merch was almost $14,000.
I have no information. No one has told
So
me anything.
that means that at least in some of this stuff,
I was going to zero budget and just gonna push the stuff we
Yeah,
can, honestly.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like this was a lot of this is a lot of stuff that would have been bought for Pride and for the summer. So that's $8,000 that we're probably not going to be spending. We had $5,000 for a shirt, for a 30-year throwback shirt. That's something we could potentially push to Supporter Supply. But that was the biggest amount of budget, I think, for almost everybody else except probably Brent. Everything's pretty much going to stay within what you guys had. So, like, I know Emily had some stuff on there for Cruisemas and some Pride merch stuff. So I don't know what that is, that sort of is. But as far as second half stuff,
Second half stuff, I have 2 things already on my calendar. One is Ronald McDonald House, which is $400, and we typically donate to MASH Food Pantry $500.
yeah. So
second half, that's what I have.
okay. But yeah, like I said, I don't. There are some places on this past budget that we're gonna get a significant amount of money back, because that was for merch was almost 13,000 of that. Almost her entire budget for that almost $14,000 is now off the table. And we didn't spend a lot of that $14,000 in the first half. So, we at least have a little bit of wiggle room with that.
It's like, so if for us, we for more aggressive, the 15 minutes in, out of that, that's where the eight, like your 8,000. So there's really only like 7,000 to split up, right?
The 5 to 10 loss is my thinking of what it would wash out to after we buy all our, so that's going to buy all of our parking and that's.
But like I said, as far as expenditures go for what we had projected, there's not nearly as much that came out as we were thinking first half. Because I know I don't think that they did Nordecke goes green this year, which is
No, he said he was not going to do it specifically because of the.
so that's another $500 that goes back in to that. So like I said, there's just a little bit more space. Like I said, I think the biggest expenditures looking at what we have other than what game day has is whatever Brent's going to spend on paint and fabric.
Yep. Okay.
$9,999.
Basically.
Is there? Can you pull the chat back up? Is there anything else in there? No, we already got it. Okay. All right. You know the best way to do this. Do we want to just go around the room and Curtis, do you have an idea of what you're looking at for the second half?
I'm looking at, I have 3 away games with 8 parking. That would really Nashville and Chicago. I'd like to contribute $250 per game for each of those partners to offset their cost for the tailgate. That's the only expense I anticipate having.
So $750. Okay. You all are doing math. Okay. Justin, the rest of the game day team is mathing over here. So they're going to include you on a side chat and we'll come back to that.
Norm, if you need,
I don't need any money, but since we're not doing like a Hell is Real shirt, can we link some smaller graphic people who have made shirts? Can we link them on our Nordecke socials?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so merch is asking for nothing right now. Emily, 900 for community.
Oh, I guess I just need $25, but that's it.
Oh, yeah. You want to motion that?
Oh, did we do it? I think we did it.
Is it everything that's in the record?
I don't know if it got actually voted and recorded.
What? Sorry, what?
I think
The
$25 for the
$25.
Pride
I don't know that
Festival.
it formally got voted.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we'll put that in the
No,
budget
that's
and then
the
you'll be
first
fine.
one.
Yeah, it'll be fine. All right, so $25 for merch. Let's see here. Bethany, do you have any idea if Colin has anything to spend on in the second half?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay, so
He's not responsible for his well-being.
comms.
He's a grown-up.
Is comms, remind me real quick, sorry, was the Canva, was that a yearly subscription price? We didn't do monthly, did we?
No, Canva is annual. I believe it's 120 a year, if I remember correctly.
And we did that at the beginning of the season, right?
I believe so. I know that it was last year in the spring is when Colin first got the Canva account, so it would have renewed within the last few months, I believe.
Okay. Thanks, Beth.
You hear that, Brent?
Okay. Courtney.
I was gonna say, I think all of our stuff was from the beginning of the year with more of the Google switch payment for the website. Alicia, correct me if I'm wrong, but more of the maintenance for the organization.
I saw it. Oh, I thought you were talking about Alicia has stepped away. She wants to know if
Well, good. I didn't want to talk to her anyway.
fees and all of that kind of stuff, if that was all paid for annually at the beginning of the season.
It was not, it's monthly, but it's, on our budget as, and I believe, but
So right now, game day, it's whatever.
Okay,
Hey, but
so
when we paid the website, the new stuff.
Courtney,
with
what does
Google,
that mean for
did we
you?
pay that annually? Yeah, so Google's paid for.
Google's paid for. Website is a monthly that I think we took over.
Yeah, that's what Alicia said.
And then website's monthly, right? How much?
I was like, and I looked at everyone, I remember.
Website's monthly. And then we pay Canva monthly also, right?
She said the website is a couple hundred a month.
It's really now. It's already been in and out, but.
Are you considering the potential of $3,000 for the Israel supporter derby in this country?
No, because I don't think we would approve it right now.
I think it's not crazy to consider that it might be like $500.
Mike back on. Okay. Courtney, were you able to arrive at a number?
Hold on, give me a second. I just got my thing. Give me 2 minutes.
Oh.
So, I know. I have changed a lot. Like, I didn't think.
United home.
It'll be here next year. They'll look at all those playoff tickets that were bought for the game that didn't even involve our team and be like, yep.
You gotta find Kyle.
I know.
That kind of stuff I'll have.
I have people's budgets. We have 1 minute left actually in this room, so.
No, we have until 8:30
So,
and we still have to do the updates. Okay. What are the rest of the budgets?
The everything that needs to be paid game day is gonna stay roughly. I mean, we'll just combine these. We'll say $1,800.
And that's for game and match.
Yeah.
Okay, chair.
All of our stuff is annual. So we have nothing coming out.
There will be no expenditures
The website's like $100, but that's not
total, like not per month.
whatever website is. And we're gonna see if we can pay annually. So right now,
Website's 143 per month for the next 7 months.
143 per month.
is that's Google? Or is that the website?
Hold on, I'm going back and forth. You gotta give me a second.
Google's
That's Google Workspace. Website housing is 100. E-commerce 386, but I don't know that that's
It's annual. I just talked about it.
The $100 is
e-commerce.
$100 is monthly.
okay, so
The
100.
website hosting is annual.
No,
So
I'll text you.
that's 600. Right? The 300 whatever that you just said,
That's already been paid.
that's already been paid.
Yes.
That's not coming out.
Everything
So
else
it's just
for-
the 600 a
Just
month.
600 for the chair.
And
Um,
Google Workspace was paid or not?
Paid annually.
averages to 143 a month, but it was paid annually according to Bud.
Okay. So
All
that
right.
should be good. Yep. Then we're good.
We
Bring
do
it
have-
back together. What?
We do have a question for Bethany specifically. Do you guys just still use Adobe?
That was mostly for creative. Secretary also uses it for e-signatures and stuff, but we had the Adobe suite for Photoshop and editor for
So-
TIFO stuff.
So we're paying that's your $75 a month.
75.
It's 75.
That needs to be, I'll go in and look at it. It should not be 75. It should be like 20. Okay.
Hey, Bud. Brent's gonna check on the Adobe because it should be cheaper. 'Cause that's
It
who
should be
uses
way
it.
cheaper. Okay, so. All right, we're gonna have to add merch in later. That's not here. So we'll
Partnerships.
approve partnerships. Excuse me, sorry, last year. So we'll try to approve everything else that we can, and then approve his separately later.
We can just go off of what Brad's budget be.
Um,
That's what he did for first half, so we'll just assume that it will be.
I assume he's probably gonna ask for more because of some of the other stuff. So I'll let him weigh in on that. We can talk about that one separately. All right, so what we have right now, game day and match day have up. And they are collectively requesting $1,800, correct?
Could be less. Part of it is just in our, memberships, something that we wanted to do is just do some more at tailgate across the board, so it's not always like, so sports groups don't always do whatever they should. General theme, so a large portion of that budget is just for town. So obviously, when my full one spending and try to spend down. That's what we'll put that one.
Fair enough.
It's for memberships, you said?
No, for game day, like for tailgate. We're trying to do some more, like, make the tailgate like a desirable thing to do to like make sure that people are actually buying all the parking passes, maybe get more people, have people want to sponsor it to get this money and things.
Any other questions for game day / match day here or online? All right, seeing none. Go on. Travel is requesting $750. That was $250 per match for 3 separate matches that usually have larger presences of traveling supporters to help with tailgate costs for that as well. Any questions for travel?
What's the third game? Charlotte, Chicago, Nashville. Thank you.
Last year was maybe consistent.
Historically,
They just do.
yeah.
Oh, they're just having a side conversation.
Do we have people like in Nashville? Or
We
we're
have
supporting their tailgate?
at least
I'm
a
just
couple
curious about
people in
that.
Nashville. I think somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that is just one person. I don't believe, yeah. So I don't think that they're probably going to be doing much, but we can work with them and see if it's something they want to do. But this request is reasonable, so we can keep it in there. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I think 750 is fine. At least in my opinion. I disagree if they
And
want.
honestly, that takes up your first half budget because we didn't do the election buddy stuff. So that's $50 different than what you had in the first half. Good job.
All right. Next up, merch is requesting $25. That is super expensive. Can't believe you would do this. I'm not going to allow questions on that one because that would just be
Hey, Brent, how
a
much is
waste
your
of
budget?
time. Community is requesting 900 for the reasons outlaid earlier. Can you repeat those, please?
Ronald McDonald House and MASH
Ronald McDonald House and MASH. MASH would be
donating $500.
$500 worth of like groceries and stuff, or are you just doing straight cash donation?
We'll see what they want.
Okay.
But we typically do 500. I can do the grocery shopping like I did before. If we want to do, I don't have a date with Bruce on when we want to do that. He has like particular events he wants us to come for, and our schedule also kind of dictates when we. Around McDonald House is $400.
Okay. So 900 for a community. Any other questions on that one? No. Comms, as far as we know right now, is a $0 budget for the second half of the season. Chair, $600, and that was for the website fees. $100 a month for 6 months. Any questions to the chair for the website fees? No. Okay. Creative. What was the first half? 3,500. Bud, do you happen to know what was what we spent?
Because all the fabric last season.
That was my question.
600 out of 35. Let's go. What a legend of the game.
You want to keep it?
All right.
25 fabric?
I'm going to,
Good job. Proud of you, buddy.
I know I probably got to buy like $1,000 worth of paint just right off the bat because we ran the supply down pretty low on some key colors. That being one of the biggest ones. I'm going to ask for 4,000. So not counting merch, we are up to 449, 55,
Partnership.
275, 8. We're up to about $8,025 in budget right now, and that's without merch.
Partnerships.
Partnerships. Every time.
I will say, we could probably go roughly off what he spent in the first half. He has 800 in tailgate expenses for water and pop. So
I am quite sure he's going to ask for more because he has some events on his thing. So I don't want to pencil that in. I want to let him ask for what he wants. And that.
Well, that's what I'm
So,
saying. At least minimum
um,
is there's at
But
least.
if we add that in, we'll just call it 9.
Yeah.
$9,000 in budget.
I have a question about production.
Okay.
What's that gonna cost us? What's that gonna?
That would be a chair question, I believe, because she is the one having those conversations. Question about Nordecke up.
Usually, and we did not need to spend, I think the 2-day one, I was given a budget of 300 for snacks. We definitely didn't even need to spend that much on water and Gatorade and fruit and snacks. We can take that further, but we can add that to, I would say,
We had a big grilled chicken chopped salad. We brought half of it home.
yeah,
what was-
put 300 for now because they charged us a whole $1 and we did not at that point pay for ancillary things like the security. We didn't have locker room, but we had the upper 90 club.
Do we anticipate them doing that again, though? If they're charging us for this other thing, are they also going to charge us for Nordecke Cup?
They're not, and if that turns out to be the case, I know we have some other options among ourselves that we've been talking about, moving the venue possibly and working with the cage since they do have 2 fields. They have a bar, they have food. It's indoors, so it's not weather permitting, but they have big garages they can open up too. They have off-street parking. So that's a viable option and kind of work with them on an event.
Okay, so $300 for Nordecke Cup. Just put that under
So
chair.
the car's 900. Yep, make that under chair for right now.
Okay. All right. Since we've read all the amounts out, I'm not going to do it individually. I don't think how to do this.
Just
Motion to approve the budget as read for each director. Curtis seconds. Curtis is yes. Paco? Yes. Sarah? Yes. Emily? Yes. Brent? Yes.
Yes.
Justin? Yes. Motion passes. Thank you, everybody.
Really? 2 votes in a row, Brent.
You're a bit gonna abstain.
Hey, you're a tiebreaker, okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say she can't vote anyway.
All right. So that was budgets passed. Thank you, everybody. That is a big deal. Now we all know what we can spend without having to make individual motions because that is a pain. All right, we got.
Stuff might pop up.
Yeah,
Saying
if
an
like
asterisk, stuff might pop up. That doesn't mean you couldn't.
that's yes. All right, 20 minutes left, and we have a few items on the agenda for new business. Committee updates. Bylaws really don't have any updates because they are meeting on Saturday for the first time. So I'm gonna skip that one. Again, sorry, Courtney.
Please come. It's at the TIFO space. We will get you out in time to go to the US game. That's the update.
All right, so meeting Saturday, TIFO space. Show up to that if you want to have input. Fundraising committee. That was a lot of fun. Had a lot of things that we talked about. First, I want to kind of like the fundraising committee for the time being is focused on like short term, how do we increase capital to offset the ticket losses and help sustain through the end of the season. And then after that, like once we kind of feel more comfortable there, we can shift to a longer term view of what's a better strategy for us in the long term. So some of the things that we talked about, we have already kind of discussed tonight, tabling at community events to sell memberships and merchandise. It sounds like Sarah's already planning on doing some of that. We need to find some other community events outside of just soccer stuff that we can participate in and have tables at. And we need everybody to kind of share in the workload of staffing those tables so that it's not up to one or two people every time. So if y'all know of community events that we should be at, let us know so that we can plan those. And then we'll get signups and stuff for people to volunteer to work those events. Yes, sir.
So there's some obvious things on the board there. Not necessarily. Fests. For example.
Yeah, some of the events, some of the larger events that we would probably like to be at in the future, I think we've already missed sign up windows for. So we'd have to look at that as events come up. But yeah.
Like I'm thinking back to say times, but like the Greek festival, for example, September, right?
That's Italian Fest.
Yeah.
Like it's festival season and all.
Yeah.
Throw rock and get something.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a question like what's have a connection with people. But I think the idea of being outside soccer is
We also do tents at like soccer tournaments. Start in fall.
Especially for some kids, like kids memberships.
Yeah.
Like people.
Just any of those stuff in general.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I think it'd be very easy
Yeah, we
to get a tent.
420
either
is when
Stiller
they
or Gari.
Comfest stuffs too.
Those guys themselves. Freaking busy all day.
Yep.
Yeah. So just as you guys see those, if there are specific events that you're like, hey, the Nordecke should be at this, just let us know and plan it out. This is maybe a note for comms. Sepco has products that kick back to the Nordecke as they are sold. So we should try to advertise a little bit more some of those specific products.
Products they are.
Yeah.
Just add that to your schedule out.
Yeah. So graphics coming for that. Some of we already talked about the parking. We are going to start basically just straight up asking people to give us money. Fundraising pitches are a big deal. Like there are people that have money and they would probably be willing to give it to us, and they never will if we don't ask. So we're working on some language and some messaging for that that we'll start working on. But if you want to be a part of that, you're welcome to be a part of this committee, and we'll get you plugged in and get you started on that. That's right.
Does anyone know how to write grants? Or
Get
how
there.
to look for grants?
Kind of. I kind of do. It's difficult because a lot of them have to be 501c3s. All right. So the other one, we'll discuss this with partnerships. Got it right this time. Talking about how we can maybe redo some of how we currently schedule watch parties in order to make that a little bit more financially viable for us. I believe the deal currently is that they give us beer for a tailgate. We host a watch party there, so it kind of offsets or works out a little bit better for them, probably, is the idea there. What we've kind of talked about is potentially shrinking the number of watch party locations so that they are more consistent locations and people will know where we are like from week to week, rather than like, oh, we're here and then we're there and then we're like north and south and east and west and all over the place. And then as we really like drive interest in those watch parties and focus on getting more people out to them, there'll be bigger groups of people spending money at these locations, and we would ask for a percentage of whatever revenue we drive to that location. It's kind of the current idea that we would like to get our partners' thoughts on. So those are some of the things that we would like to start doing. The next thing, and this is big, going to be a lot of work, big lift, but I think it could be really cool and really fun. There is a Cappy game, July 18th. It is the week before the season kicks back off, so 3 days before if you count the Wednesday game. We have been talking all year about how to do a supporter summit and get that scheduled. And that Cappy game, Nick can correct me if I'm wrong, but that is their return to historic Crew Stadium, do you believe? So the thought is we do a supporter summit and then roll that into a throwback style mega tailgate to try to get a lot of people out. We'll have some like block party style elements. I don't care what the crew says. We're bringing a dunk tank, whether they like it or not, and you can pay to.
Like station people that supported by the different supporters groups that the general public spends some amount of cash on to do. So like the duck tank, like we could have board members in it and each board member's worth a certain amount to like try to duck them. We could
If
have,
you
like,
wanna-
car smashing, like just to generally raise funds to cover just the general help that we need. So and then also highlight all the supporters groups in a way that they haven't done yet.
Yes. So this could be one, just a really fun thing to get all of our membership like back on board with the season because it's coming back up, and also drive a little bit of revenue for us. We could do ship beer day there. So that is again July 18th. A lot of work to be done to get that off the ground in a relatively short amount of time for such a big thing. But I think we can do it, and it would be really, really good.
Do we think on that vein that we could talk to the front office about getting upper 90 and having a sit down style something?
I would
and then have the tailgate,
we could talk to them.
like info session, sort of something, or if we could have upper 90 or somewhere during the game that if people wanted more information, they could.
Yeah, we could talk to them.
Ignore me if you hate it.
No, I don't hate it. It was kind of thinking like the summit would be like where we're doing the tailgate. So it would be like talk to whoever from the front office we could get out there. Not going to make any promises, but was provided information with a certain Haslam Sports Group employee who will be returning to stateside shortly. Hopefully we could get him back out like we've had him in the past. No promises.
The state fair starts July 29th, so they will be somewhat in the parking lots doing setup for that. It shouldn't
Good call out.
affect use unless you go
Well,
really, really mega. But
Usually for Cappy's games, the only options are
it's basically the VIP. What used to be the VIP.
the side lot and VIP. So Aviators tailgate.
Yes. Good call out. Yeah, good call out.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so we are going to have our next fundraising meeting on the 10th. What? Yeah, this Wednesday. That will be at 6:30. We are going to start planning this mega tailgate and supporter summit. We're going to meet on at Jackie O's on 4th. Again, that is this coming Wednesday at 6:30. If you would like to be a part of the fundraising committee and or are willing to help plan this super cool event, please come out. That is it for fundraising updates, unless anybody has questions. Seeing none. All right, partnerships. Memberships. Got it. God. It took so much to get that fixed.
So yeah, we have the umbrella. Also.
Can you move the mic closer to whomever's speaking?
Paco, come back up to the
Paco, come
podium.
up to the podium.
Also, can Paco start over because we couldn't hear anything?
We made a move.
You said something about umbrellas.
Just trying to attack it efficiently in a way, because like Brett was saying, you know, it's really kind of short term and kind of a long term plan to be able to do this efficiently and to gain results currently, right? Because we have a deficit in memberships, but also to be able to instill things to be able to grow it, you know, for the future. So, you know, we were able to kind of meet and kind of discuss of like what we've been doing this year, how we can kind of do it better. You know, I think right now for first steps, we wanted to be able to establish having a table in the concourse, or establishing a table in the concourse during home games, so we can have a table out there to meet with people and to be able to talk with folks about memberships. Emily brought up a really cool thing about business cards, or having some form of business card that we can kind of hand out to folks, to maybe has a QR code on it that we can kind of pass out to do stuff. You know, that's something that, you know, when we first started, when Ashley came on, you know, that's something that we try to use match day as kind of a hospitality aspect to it. So, you know, it's something that we can kind of grow on that, because that's something that I know Ashley and I already kind of do during the games, is trying to talk to folks and be able to kind of explore why they've chosen the section, if they've had, you know, what we can do better, you know, that kind of stuff. I know in regards to kind of building on that, we were thinking about, you know, having a video about interviewing folks and why they choose to sit in the Nordecke, and why they what brings them there, and what the atmosphere is, right? Because we want to be able to advertise that for them, right, through our socials and through our watch parties, you know. So having, like Brent was saying, having more presence at our watch parties, and having tables out there at our watch parties, being able to kind of push those things. We'd like to be able to get that list of, you know, making sure we have that list of watch parties so that we can advertise there and have a presence, making sure that we are advertising to our members what the value is of being a member, advertising our discounts, advertising the benefit of having that membership card around town and how we can use it, and reminding people that they could use those things and gain benefit from it. We don't have second meeting scheduled, but if anybody would like to be part of the group and get that second meeting scheduled. But yeah.
We did talk too about like, I think Brent, what you were also saying about like the watch parties, like making sure that the partners have they're posting our stuff as much as we're posting them, so that it's like a true partnership, and it's making sure that there is sound on, that they're playing the game, you know, promoting that we're there, and having like table tents and like the watch parties, maybe even doing like some like raffles or giveaways like that.
So
That wasn't me, but I will happily take the credit.
Sorry.
the other thing we talked about in terms of watch parties, and this kind of fits in with what the fundraising group is talking about, is if we're making watch parties a real focus and making sure that serves as a way of outreach and potentially a way that membership can achieve outside of match days, then we collectively as a group make sure that we're going to them, or like trying to organize ourselves to make sure that we have a presence there and that we're reaching it as much as we can. It's consistently a challenge because, you know, the schedule doesn't get any easier. We're all trying to find time outside of this, but if we can really push that, that can perhaps grow our membership over time through being consistent. People know they can show and find a group to watch a game, and then grow membership over time. Now,
I did get a roll of 1,000 QR codes to put on the Pride merch.
So maybe we can see if like that, like a test run of like who, you know, if we get any extra traffic or any extra memberships from that, so. Hopefully.
We'd also talked about it, and this is, we haven't sorted out exactly how to do it, but the website needing to highlight the things we do outside of match days, and that need to make sure that we're directing attention really efficiently onto the website. So if we get someone to go to our website, how do they find out what the org does within the first minute? And we can use this website better. So all of it can be done to make sure that the things that we do, things that we do for our are more visible and accessible to first time.
One thing want to point out, and you were talking a little bit about trying to ask people why they're in the section. We have memberships throughout the stadium. So it focus more on like why people are members of our organization than why they're in the section. All right. Any questions? None? All right, we got 1 minute. 1 minute for open forum.
Today is National Cheese Day.
Tomorrow's donut day.
No, you may not.
30 minutes.
All right. Nick, any Cappy requests? Monday at 6:00. Wow.
Recognize that former Cappy Cole Maroka got his first international goal yesterday.
Yeah. All right. What's there?
Okay, real quick.
Do it now. I need to order a ride home.
Does Friday count as a Saturday for parking purposes?
Yes.
Yes, it's weekend.
If it's a 7:30 game.
We can do that.
Linoy, if you're still on there, seeing your messages in chat, that is something that we will be doing. It has not been done yet, but that's a good call out. It is on the radar. All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion passes. All right. Thanks, y'all. No, that was a long one.
You left the meeting, rejoin.
Thank you.